Patrick Kane, what it sounds like is he's pulling the no-trade clause on the Chicago Blackhawks, and he's telling them, listen, you either trade me here or I'm out. You can either let me play out the rest of the season or I'm going to get the hip surgery and go that route. I don't want to go to Vegas. I don't want to go to Dallas. I don't want to go to the Islanders. I don't want to go to the Devils, the Lightning, L.A. I want to go to the Rangers. I want to play with Panarin again. And I want to make that top six be as deadly of a force as there ever has been in the NHL. And now people are saying, is Patrick Kane what he was? He's not what he was 5 or 6 years ago. But now that the Tarasenko trade happened, the guy's doing hat tricks. He scored 7 goals in the last 4 games. And he's looking like Kane from 6 years ago. This is what Patrick Kane is starting to have the chip on his shoulder. And then a team that was interested in Toronto that was rumored to be on his list. He goes into Toronto and he has a hat trick against the Maple Leafs, and he says, hey, you want Ryan O'Reilly? Yeah, take that. I'm going to get a hat trick against you guys and see where it goes. To me, if the New York Rangers do get Patrick Kane, there's no excuse as to why this team can't get to the conference finals. Now, of course, it depends on where Timo Meier goes. Is it the Devils or is it Carolina? I think it's going to be the Devils, but I think if it was going to be New Jersey at this point when Hughes was out, that would have been the time to do it, and it didn't happen. If Meier goes to Carolina, that's filthy then. Now, the Rangers destroyed Carolina a week ago, 6-2 in Carolina. The Rangers seem to have the Hurricanes number right now since the playoff series. But if the Rangers get Patrick Kane, you're going to have a line of Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, Vladimir Tarasenko, Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck, Patrick Kane, Kakko, Lafreniere, and Hedl. And then you could move VC down to the fourth line with Goodrow. 1 through 12. That's unbelievable. Now, of course, Boston made their trade. Kenny Hathaway from Washington, which was a guy I wanted, but I knew the Rangers were never going to get him because Washington wasn't going to trade within the division. But I got to give Errol credit where credit is due. I said when Tarasenko happened, I said, no Kane. And he told me, how much do you want to bet the New York Rangers still get Patrick Kane? I said, there's no shot they're getting Kane. And then when they got Mott, I said, there's no shot. Now they're definitely getting Kane. And now they're probably getting Patrick Kane, which is ridiculous, and it's unheard of. Speedy, what are your thoughts on this whole Patrick Kane conundrum with the New York Rangers, and can they bring him on board for this big run that they could possibly have?
Yeah, I was thinking a lot like you were when they traded for Mott. I thought that was going to be the last move. They were just going to get a little more depth.
I thought maybe one more depth forward, and that would have been it, but not Patrick Kane.
Right. After the Tarasenko trade, I was scouting out just some veteran centers to help out because the Rangers still have had their issues with face-offs. So
I had a bunch of them. I had Nick Bonino. Bjugstad was another one. And I did think of Hathaway, of course, but I knew they weren't going to get him because Washington wasn't going to trade with us. But Kane is forcing the hand of the Blackhawks. He's basically saying, I won you 3 Stanley Cups. I'm going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Blackhawk. I've done everything for you guys. Do right by me. Do right by your organization and get pieces back and let me go to a strong contender and help that team get a Stanley Cup.
And it's coming to the point, too, because there haven't been any other teams labeled in terms of teams he would move his no-movement clause.
He said no to everybody.
Besides the Rangers and then the Maple Leafs, who make a trade for Ryan O'Reilly, who's a $7 million center.
O'Reilly had a hat trick in his first game with Toronto. And he's a good playoff performer. You saw him in that St. Louis run.
He could be the Maple Leafs' best playoff performer when they lose in 7 games.
But that wasn't even the biggest thing. He even said that there was really not much to that. You're in Patrick Kane's shoes. Have you ever seen an athlete get upset about another player getting traded to another team like he was? I never heard that before. He was really upset about it. He even said, it's not the happiest I've ever been from a player getting traded to another team. But the weird thing is that his agent is still coming out saying that he still has not waived his no-trade clause yet. I don't understand, though. He wants to get traded to the Rangers. The Rangers are trying to make it work, but it just sounds like he's tiptoeing around the situation. Did he waive it? Is somebody blowing smoke? Is the agent doing this so he kind of takes the pressure off of Chicago to make this happen? Do we really believe that he hasn't waived his no trade yet to go to the Rangers?
Well, Chicago's going to have a lot of pressure as it is because Jonathan Taves now is not going to be traded because he had a long-term COVID symptom.
Which I feel terrible for him. I think he's a future Hall of Famer as well. That whole group of him, Kane, Hossa, and Duncan Keith were the massive core for Chicago.
Absolutely. So he's not going to end up being traded. He's going to miss the rest of the season. So as a result, the only value you're going to get at this point is trying to get something for Kane. And if Kane is only going to list the New York Rangers as that team, you have to try to take advantage of that kind of thing. It probably already is too late with the way the Blackhawks have handled it, but before it gets even worse.
But is it really the Blackhawks, or is it more Kane is just taking too long with this and just trying to tiptoe around this?
Chicago has known that they've been this bad for a while. It's not like they started hot for 2 months and then fell off. They've been bad all season.
Yeah, but Kane has constantly said, I don't want to waive my no-trade clause, though, yet. Like, what are you waiting for, then? Wouldn't you want to do a favor by your organization? Just say, okay, I'm ready to waive it to the Rangers. Let's go.
The organization could also say, this is a team that's interested in you. This is a team that's interested in you. And list off a bunch of teams that are going to be obvious contenders. The Rangers are not a surprise contender that came out of nowhere.